Hey everyone, this is Rick MacDermid with Senior Solutions Group, and thank you so much for checking out this video. This is an important topic today. How to save money on your prescriptions is one of the topics we're going to talk about. And first of all, there's been some late-breaking news. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. So the Kaiser Family Foundation is a phenomenal resource for filling the need for trusted information. This is right off their website on national health issues. So just yesterday, published July 27th of 2022, they put out an article, How Would the Prescription Drug Provisions in the Senate Reconciliation Proposal Affect Medicare Beneficiaries? So the Senate is trying to put together a reconciliation through the Finance Committee, which was recently released, the legislative text to be included in a forthcoming reconciliation bill that includes several provisions to lower prescription drug costs for people with Medicare and private insurance and reduced drug spending by the federal government. The prescription drug provisions in the Senate reconciliation legislation would reduce the federal deficit by $288 billion, which is a drop in the bucket, but it would help potentially over 10 years between 2022 and 2031, so over a 10-year period, according to the Congressional Budget Office, the CBO. So it would also reduce out-of-pocket spending by Medicare beneficiaries and limit increases in drug prices for Medicare and private insurance. The provision would be implemented over several years, beginning in 2023. And we're going to look at this chart here. This briefly examines the potential impact on these provisions for Medicare beneficiaries based on the legislative text released July 7th of this year, just a few weeks ago. So often we meet with people that are new to Medicare or signed up for Medicare recently that are taking prescription drugs. Just today, I was speaking with a retired teacher who's on a very expensive drug, and she was on a plan through the state of Washington, her and her husband, for about $800 a month premium, in addition to Medicare Part B premiums, which are $170 a month each. She's wondering, there's got to be a better plan. Well, actually, that plan has Plan G through the state PEBB, Public Employee Benefit Board, for at less than $100 a month, which is half as much as a Washington resident would pay for Plan G, with no copay. So I said, you need to look at that. She said, well, I'm on this expensive medication. Well, let's take a look at that. Well, that drug by itself was over $700 a month. So that would put her in the donut hole and into catastrophic benefits potentially. Under this new legislation, this would require drug companies to pay rebates if drug prices rise faster than inflation, and it eliminates cost sharing for adult vaccines covered under Part D, which could be big. So the shingles vaccine may cost $100 or $200 today. Under this new legislation, you could get a shingles shot for $0. So that's in 2023. Then in 2024, it eliminates 5% coinsurance for Part D catastrophic coverage. So how would that affect you? So if you're on an expensive cancer drug and the cost of that drug is, let's say, $5,000 a month, which is not uncommon, you would be in catastrophic coverage within 2 months, and you would be paying 5% of the cost of that drug, which would be how much? What's 5% of $5,000 that you would have to pay? That would eliminate that, so you would have to pay $0 for that drug in the catastrophic phase. It also expands income eligibility for full benefits for Part D low-income subsidies up to 150% of the federal poverty level. Now, at the end of this video, in just a few minutes, I'm going to show you how to apply for extra help. It's very simple. We help people apply for extra help regularly at Senior Solutions Group. So for people on Part D extra help, they often don't have to pay for their drug plan. It's paid in full. They don't have to pay the $480 deductible. and they don't have to pay the full copay amounts. They might have a small copay of maybe $1, maybe $5, maybe $8, even if the cost of the drug is several $100s. So that's an additional benefit that would be helpful for people get extra help with Part D drug cost. That's in 2024. Moving on to 2025, this is critical. This adds $2,000, a $2,000 out-of-pocket cap on Part D drugs and other drug benefit changes. So if the cost of that cancer drug is $5,000 per month, your out-of-pocket costs would be limited to $2,000 for the entire year for all of your drugs combined. So if you're on several drugs, if you're on 15 drugs, which we have clients that are on over 20, and that's a different topic, doctors that are overprescribing drugs, that would eliminate the cost of having to pay $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 out of pocket while you're in catastrophic coverage. And then in 2026, they would implement negotiated prices for certain high-cost drugs. Right now, Medicare can't negotiate with the drug manufacturers to lower the cost of some of these expensive drugs. So in 2026, 10 Medicare Part D drugs will be added, then 15 in 2027, 15 more in 2028, and 20 more in 2029. So this is still in process right now, but we're looking at potentially a game changer for people who are on Medicare Part D as in drug. So we'll have a link to this article on our website, so feel free to check that out and look through it. And so there's some potential good news. So you'll see here 1.3 million Medicare Part D enrollees without low-income subsidies had spending above the catastrophic threshold in 2020. The most recent data available, which was 6,350 that year, would have helped by the elimination of the 5% coinsurance requirement above that catastrophic threshold, which was $6,350. So this $2,000 hard cap would help people on very expensive drugs. And let's face it, drug costs are going through the roof, higher than inflation. And inflation's going through the roof. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to apply for extra help on your prescriptions, because we don't know if this is going to pass or not for sure. So even if it passes, you're going to want to know, you might have a friend or two that has a low income that's really struggling with their medications. It might be you. You might say, well, how do I get help on these expensive medications? We're going to show you how you might be eligible for extra help. So I'm just going to Google. It's amazing what you can learn on Google. Apply for Medicare Extra Help online. So you can Google that and it'll take you right to the link. Find out if you qualify. You can apply right online. It'll take maybe 10 minutes to apply. And then you can also find out about the Extra Help program. What are the requirements? So I clicked the link, and the first thing you need to know is in 2022, to qualify for Extra Help, your annual income must be limited to $20,385 for an individual. That's your gross. So if you make $20,386, you make too much money. Or $27,465 for a married couple living together. So even if your income is higher, you still be able to get some help. So if you're supporting a loved one who's living with you that you provide financial support, you may be able to qualify for extra help if your income is higher than that. Or if you live in Alaska or Hawaii. That's another example. So then you also have a maximum amount of savings that you can have. They call that resource maximum. So to qualify for extra help, you also can't have resources over $15,510. So if you're single and you have a bank account of over $15,510, you might need to get that new roof that you've been meaning to get, buy that car that needs to be replaced, get some dental work done to get your resources below $15,510. And if you're married, it's doubled basically, $30,950 for a married couple. So if that's a 401k, they don't count your home, but they do count real estate like a rental property. Any bank accounts, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, IRAs, any cash you got buried in the mattress, they're going to count that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the application. So remember, I Googled apply for extra help for Part D, and we'll include that link as well on the subtitle of the video. So we'll click how to apply or apply for extra help online, and we'll apply right now. Hit next. You're going to want to answer these questions. Are you assisting someone else? So we'll just say no. I'm doing it for myself, hypothetically. Do you or your spouse, did you get an application in the mail? We'll say no. And do you have Medicare? Yes. Are you 64 and 9 months or older? Yes. Have you received Social Security disability benefits for 24 months? Disability benefits based on Lou Gehrig's or ALS or renal dialysis treatments or a kidney transplant? No. Which state do you live in? We'll put the state of Washington. That's where we're at. Married status, we will say is single. And so the question will be, do you have combined savings, investments, or real estate worth more than $30,950 if you're married and living with your spouse, or $15,510 if you're not married? No. Hit next. Apply now. So we'll answer the questions here. So we'll ask your name, your address, if you have a contact person. They will also ask you if you have a checking account, how much you have in the checking account. Don't lie, tell the truth. They'll ask you about your income. What is your income? What is the source? Is it Social Security? Are you working? Very straightforward. You answer those questions, you hit submit, and you will find out within a couple, 2-3 weeks if you are eligible for extra help. So if you or if a loved one is struggling with prescription cost, feel free to reach out to us at Senior Solutions Group. We are here to help in any way we can. We care about our seniors. We don't want to see our seniors struggle. We are a resource. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel and have a blessed rest of your day. Thank you.